Now, separate from face-to-face interaction, we also see a change in terms of online communication between physician and patients. Now, up from 2003, we're about 40% today of physicians saying that they do communicate online in some way with their patients, whether this be through a secure messaging site like a Relay Health, or through IM, or through unprotected email. We're seeing about 40% of physicians saying that they do connect in some way with their patients. And of course, there'll continue to be a challenge in terms of this physician-patient online connectivity, in terms of physicians worried about liability, what tone do they use in the email, what happens in an emergency situation. Of course, there are a lot of barriers to deal with. There's also the benefit of keeping the worried well out of the office and being able to help people manage their condition online. You can see here the top activities conducted online with patients, answering clinical questions, discussing symptoms and treatment options, and determining if a visit is actually needed. So again, keeping people out of the office. So while we see 40% of physicians saying that they do communicate online with their patients, when you ask the consumer how many of them are actually communicating online, you get a much smaller number. So by show of hands, how many of you here have communicated in some way online with your physician? All right, and how many of you are interested in doing this? Okay, so that's the numbers that we definitely get. So you can see here, use is actually a lot lower than interest, and it's increasing since 2006. A few million are actually using email with their doctor, but it's very, very high interest numbers. And a lot of this also has to do with marketing well. I mean, the physician could have the ability to be emailing with their patients, but they're not letting their patients know this. So this kind of small use and high interest, we're also seeing in other areas. Specifically on the right, we're seeing this with perhaps the most hyped up type of health IT, which is personal health records, PHRs. So we see a very small actual use today, but a continual high interest. And the background here, of course, first of all, many consumers don't even know what personal health records are. So they're kind of an advanced tool to be using online. So we're going to see very small use here. But at the same time, we kind of see a lack of motivation, kind of similar to what I like to make it analogous to what you'd see with advanced directives like living wills and proxies. You know this is a good thing, but you never actually get around to doing it, and especially if you're not sick. So we're going to have, this is going to take a lot of time for the uptake here. So definitely the physician-patient relationship has changed. It's become more balanced. We said that we're seeing physicians bring in information. We're seeing that they could challenge their physician. They're going online, search for things. They're increasingly likely to go online first when a health issue arises. So we are really made to reevaluate what is the good physician of today. So does that mean that this is the good patient of today, is someone that is going online and taking care of their health care? And taking that one step further, does that mean that the patient has a responsibility to be doing this? So whatever the answer to those questions, we do know that the internet has definitely made the physician-patient relationship much more balanced, and one that's much more engaging, and one in which the patient is able to better own his information, and one in which they're able to work together. So that's it for today. If there's any questions, thanks. Yep. Oh, sorry. Oh.
We got one over here. There's going to be lots of questions, so let's start over on this side here.
Maybe I'll step up here.
Sure.
Can't see.
Hello, Erika. Hi, I'm Kenneth Watson with Heartbeat Digital. You mentioned that video detailing interest decreased from 07 to 09, and you attributed that to a decrease in invitations or recruitment. We've found that if we're able to intercept the doc in their workflow wherever they are online, that it's an easier way to recruit them into the video detail or e-detail. Do you have any information or metrics around ROI for video detailing?
Well, that chart was just for overall electronic detailing for invitations decreasing. I think just the main thing to think about would just be making sure to integrate the video detailing into something else the physician is doing that's of value to them. So they find it important with the customer service, so you want to make sure that they're linking to something else that's of value with regard to whatever they're doing already online. We do have a module specifically on video detailing, which has like a great more, much more information, some more statistics on that. So, yeah.
Hi, I'm Chetna Bhattacharya from Pfizer Medical. In regards to video detailing, you said that physicians have a high interest in engaging in video detailing with key opinion leaders.
Yeah.
And then next with a rep, not
Right.
their necessarily their own rep, and
Right.
then the last was their own rep. Do you have any numbers on how many, or on physicians' interest with speaking to a medical person at a pharma company? So not key opinion leader,
Right.
but not a rep either.
I think that we do have that in our new data. I can't remember offhand the specific numbers, but we do actually have a study where we ask a lot of other contacts of who you want to speak to. But for this presentation, I obviously just scaled it down a little bit. If you talk to me after, I can maybe get your information and I'll give you some more for that. So yeah.
And last one. Just a two-part question. The first was, you may have said this, but I missed it. What was the N for this study, the size of the study, and also
Right.
what was the geographic area? Was this just US-based physicians or global?
This, for this presentation, this is US physicians. We do have European data as well, and also Asia data. We use two of our different studies for this. So we've taken the Pulse and ePharma Physician. So they're up in the thousands for the N for this. But I can give you, if you want specific methodology, I can give you more after, definitely.
Any other questions from the floor? Okay, I think we've got one more in the back over here.
Hi. Oh, that was loud. Regarding online communities, when Sermo came out of the gate, they were predicting to have a lot of physicians that were registered and in there, and I know it's been lower than they predicted, and now Medscape has a similar offering, and you're showing that physicians are willing, and name some top specialties of people that are going onto those communities. Do you have examples of what they are and how they rank? I mean, is Sermo number one, Medscape Connect number two?
Yeah, we actually end up deferring to the companies to give the numbers. We don't track that specifically. Sermo and Medscape would be the two biggest ones today. They're over 100,000 users. But yeah, I would definitely say that they have the most up-to-date numbers for that. Yeah.
Oh, one last one here.
Fadi Al-Khatib, University of Charleston. I have just a question. Do you think that social media networking use among physicians maybe affect negatively the use of electronic detailing?
So is social networking among physicians negatively impacting electronic detailing?
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, if they don't, you mean overall electronic detailing? I mean, if they're discussing with each other, what they're interested in and what not, I could definitely see that happening. I mean, we actually, I think, see that the frequency of physicians using social networking sites is pretty much as they're talking to colleagues offline. So if they're using it at that type of a pace when they're discussing those things, then I mean, there's possible impact there, of course. If they're going to discuss anything, anything is play on there, I would say.